Hello, people. It's yet another day that the Lord has made. And again, my name's Teresa Wajiko. And I want to continue with my story. And I request all of you to join me as I continue with my next part of story today, which is the beginning of chemotherapy treatment. The surgeon handed me over to the oncologist, and of course I went. I had an appointment with the oncologist. We sat down, and she told me, now you are going to get 8 sessions of chemotherapy, and we are going to start in 2 weeks time, but you have to go through some tests before you start chemotherapy, of which she didn't tell me what she's testing. But I said it's okay, I'll go through tests first, then check on my tests, and then I was approved to go ahead with the chemotherapy. And remember, she told me that I'm doing 8 sessions of chemotherapy. So after 2 weeks, I got the results back. I took to her, and then we were ready. I was ready to begin the journey. But again, nobody told me what to expect. She told me, your hair will fall, you might vomit, that's all. So I began the journey knowing that, yes, I will lose my hair, I might vomit, but I didn't know much about what to expect. I thought those were the only side effects of chemotherapy. And of course, I began the first session, and I was expecting to vomit. I didn't vomit the first session, and but within the first session, my hair started falling. So normally, a normal human being will feel the loss. And you know, every loss comes with a grief. And nobody is there to carry you through this journey, helping you psychologically, mentally. Nobody is there. You are just going to the hospital, being given the medication, then go home. At home, sometimes maybe even those people who are there do not know what to expect. So I continued with the chemotherapy journey. The first session didn't give me a lot of problems, but my hair fell, and I started feeling like my body is changing, a change that I could not really tell exactly what it is. So I stayed, my hair fell, I went to Kenyonzi, and then I shaved everything. So I stayed. After 3 weeks, I went for another session. That time, in the second session, my nails started turning black. And in the second session, I also started throwing up. But it was not much. Remember, by the time I was going for the second session, I didn't have a single hair. It had all fallen down. I was just shiny head and nothing like hair on my head. So I just made myself, because I decided I'll be strong for this, I went ahead. But for the third session, that time it really hit me hard. It was the worst of all, because I threw up the whole day, the whole night. I could not hold anything. I threw up till I had nothing else to remove from my stomach. And it was very bad till I had to be rushed back to the hospital at night. And when I reached to the hospital, they treated it like emergency. In fact, I remember those doctors didn't even ask me for my insurance card. I was taken direct to the drips, what they were good. They did their work very well, but it wasn't easy for me because I was feeling like that the time chemo was finishing me. But I want to thank God that after they gave me the drip with the anti-vomiting drug in it, I came out very well. I came back to myself, and I didn't vomit again. And I went back home. I felt like I'm better. But remember, those are they are not only the side effects of chemotherapy. Remember that time we are talking, I had lost a lot of weight. I had no appetite. And the worst of it, chemotherapy compromises your your immunity. You find that you are not immune at all. Anything comes your way hits you. Is it cold? Is it chest problem? So I went through all this because of the lack of immunity. Yes, I could continue with my green juices, but the chemo sounded too strong for me. And then I was wondering, why was I given so many sessions? I was almost telling doctor, no, I don't think I'll finish this. It was just too toxic for me. It was a very harsh treatment for me. I went ahead, I became very slim. I think I think I was at times 40 kgs. I was very, very small. Remember that time we are talking, even my skin had turned to black. And in this uh, kind of a thing, that's when the patient feels that I am nothing. I am not beautiful at all. That is when the patient needs somebody really to talk to him or her, to encourage them, like telling them your hair will come back, like telling them your beauty will come back, your nails will recover, you will not live, especially ladies, they are very sensitive to their nails, their hair, and unfortunately chemo hits only the beauties in the ladies. So you can imagine how it affects that person. That's how when you even find the patient going to depression and denial, because you find that some of the patients do not even think they will ever recover, or one day they will ever come back to themselves. But I was very able to finish my sessions. It was not a smooth road. It was sometimes I could even feel my body numbness, and it at even the stomach constipation, no appetite. So there are so many challenges that comes with the chemotherapy. And those people who are taking care of the patients, the caregivers, I would like them maybe to understand these these changes, so that when the patient complain, or when the patient says I don't want to eat or this, I don't want to eat this, they will understand. Or when the patients become very dull, sometimes like depressed, they will understand that this person could be in denial, that this person is still at a great loss, and this loss is accompanied by grief. So those people who are taking care of the patients, you must be able to notice these things, and do not blame the patient. As much as I know that even the caregivers at times they become depressed and stressed, do not we just try to harmonize the whole thing, because it's something that we have to deal with. It's a journey that we must walk, and we want to accomplish something at the end of this journey. So the effects of chemotherapy to date, I still feel them in my body. So chemo is very toxic, and maybe if I would like to request the government or the medics, can they come up with another kind of a treatment apart from chemotherapy? Must cancer patients go through chemotherapy? It is not easy at all. But as I conclude today, I want to tell people that cancer is just a word, but not a sentence. So cancer is not a death sentence. You can make it.